What's up, Netflix fans, and welcome back to my channel. If you guys don't know how my reviews work, I like to talk about the good, the bad, and then give you my score. Today we are talking about Game Over Man. So Game Over Man comes to us from the guy that brought us Workaholics. Now, I have seen a few episodes of Workaholics, and honestly, it's a pretty funny show, so I was excited to see what this guy could do in movie form. And since we're talking good, I'll start off with this. Adam Devine, like I have said many times, if you guys watched my movie review a couple of weeks ago, he starred in a movie called When We First Met. Now, I didn't love When We First Met, but I also didn't think it was terrible, and mostly because he's a very solid, serviceable lead, and every time he's in a movie, I'm thoroughly entertained by what he's doing on screen. Now, I do think he was better in When We First Met, but I don't think that's really his fault. I think the writing was better in that movie. I do like him in this movie, and I think there are times when I was chuckling at his character. I also think the concept is really cool. It's not really in the same realm, but it kind of reminded me of Die Hard with a comedy spin on it the first time I watched the trailer, so I was interested to see what they could do with that concept. The three leads, they do have chemistry. You can see it on screen. They do a good job working and playing off of each other, and you could tell they had fun making this movie. And while I don't think the cameos really worked all that much, I liked seeing some of these random actors just thrown in, and you're like, wow, I didn't know he was in that movie. I didn't know she was in that film. And when you see them on screen, it's like, that's very interesting that they got them for that role. There were about 3 or 4 really good laughs in this movie. Unfortunately, there weren't as many laughs as I hoped there would be in a comedy. But the jokes that landed, I think they really landed. And I really just like the 3 main leads' chemistry on screen together. And I want to start off with this. My goal when I do these Netflix reviews, it's not to come off as a jerk. It's not to sound rude. I don't mean to ruffle any feathers or make people angry. I just want to sit here and talk about movies on my channel. And as I always say, if you like the movie, that is awesome. If you hate it, that is awesome. Just tell me why in the comments. I would love to start a discussion. That being said, I'm kind of leading. You can tell where I'm going here. I did not think this movie was good whatsoever. It actually makes Adam Devine's last movie, When We First Met, look a lot better compared to this one, because even in that movie, while the characters were predictable and some things were cliched, I could tell that the writing was genuine. Here, everything feels like a flop or a mishap. And if you're watching this review, you've probably already seen the movie, so I'm doing mild spoilers here just so you guys know. First off, this film is a lot more disgusting than I wanted to see. There is a lot of, I'm going to say the word shafts. There's a lot of shafts in this movie, whether it's drawings of it or people actually pulling them out or just a scene of a guy eating another guy's... How do I talk about this? And those things weren't really funny to me. They just made me super uncomfortable, and I wanted to get to the next scene. But it happened every so often. I felt myself every few scenes going, can we just get to the next scene? And in moments of turmoil for our characters, they just continuously crack jokes throughout the entire movie. Now, I understand this is a comedy. You're going to have that happen. But even in the moments where there should be some seriousness, because there was absolutely none in Game Over Man, they were just constantly cracking jokes. You never felt the danger that they were in. And once again, I get it. It's a comedy. It would have worked if it was funny, but I just found myself not laughing at this movie, and I love crazy, absurd humor. And the scene when they come out the window on the ironing board, you would think they would be petrified for their lives. I was scared just watching them, but no, they decide to have a conversation about the business idea that they started and just sit there and crack jokes and yell at the police, tell them to leave. I don't understand how that's realistic. And it doesn't even have to be realistic. Just make it funny. It wasn't funny. And I hate it when bad guys in movies just sit there and torture the heroes when they could easily kill them. Like, there was no reason for these guys to be left alive, but continuously throughout the movie, they were left alive, and then things would happen. They would fall out of a window and just so happen to slam into a bad guy in a random window in the building. You think about this, it doesn't make sense. And then at the end of the film, they attempt to give some of these smaller characters a character arc, but all of these things are happening. This girl is having this revelation while the bad guys are getting away. Why do you decide to have this conversation now? You should be running and chasing after these bad guys because you've already established that he's the one that you're after. I didn't like how they handled that. Now, if they would have done what they did with that character, but did it at a different time, I think it would have worked a lot better. It just didn't work in context. And I mentioned the cameos and the good, but I just feel like they were wasted. They didn't do anything with these characters. You have a lot of great comedians in there popping up out of nowhere, and they barely get any lines. You only see their face. It's like, oh, look, he's dead. But my least favorite part about the ending is it wraps up perfectly and they get everything they ever wanted. They didn't learn anything. These characters didn't go through arcs that made them better people. No, they're the same people. Yeah, our one guy doesn't do this drug anymore, but he takes this drug. Adam Devine didn't learn anything. It's just I didn't understand why they didn't give these characters an arc, a reason to do what they did. We never feel fulfilled as an audience, or at least I didn't. I know some people on here probably did, but for me, I wanted to see character growth. We never got that. They were the same people leaving the movie 2 years later. When they were starting the movie, they were just rich and there was a lot of good-looking people on a boat. Guys, the more I think about this film, the more I am disappointed. I'm not going to sit here and continue to bash it because it's just a movie that didn't work for me. All comedies are subjective. Like I said, there are going to be people on here that got a lot out of this. Just for me, I wanted more character development. I wanted more laughs. Even if we didn't get the character development, I just didn't really laugh, and I am going to give Game Over Man a 43%. I was actually a little higher when I started doing this video, but the more that I think about it and the more points that I write out in this journal, just the more upset I get about this movie. They are marketing the heck out of this movie, so there's probably going to be quite a few people watching this video. I just want you guys to know that if you like this movie, let me know why. Let's start a conversation in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you guys so much for watching my Pacific Rim Uprising review last night. I'm going to attempt to watch Unsane this weekend. Today's comment spotlight comes in from Aaron. He has been with me since my Annihilation review. I really appreciate the question and the wonderful comment. Thank you guys so much for leaving comments, liking my videos. You all know the thumbs up help very much. This weekend, don't forget about my Steven Spielberg countdown. You guys are the absolute best, and I will catch you later.